Hello, bird nerds. Let's get going. Let's get started. I can see someone's on a tight time frame. How are you, Stormy? Hello, everyone. Let's see who's here. I know Stan's here. Oh, that might be better, mightn't it, if I do that? Might be better if I get that microphone out of the way. There we are. So, gang, it's been fun trying to get you all in the right format to play. Now, is that too loud? Probably is, isn't it? I do like it, but let's just bring it down. There we are. Bring it down. Who's watching? Hello, Naomi. Thank you for the Facebook thumbs up. Now, let's just check. Can you hear me all fine, everyone? And now, while we've got Naomi here, and because Naomi's in the same neck of the wood as Stormy, I better mute that, I think, while we're going to play. Let's do some Dawn Chorus. Let's start with Naomi's, because they were in an easy format for me to get in here. So let's see who's here. Oh, YouTube. Oh, big audience in YouTube today. That's great. I hope you're here, Stan. All right, Naomi sent me 3 clips. Let's start with that. Now, Naomi, and let's say the hellos. Hello, Martin. G'day, Stan. Hi, Stormy. That's everyone who's saying hello so far. Naomi, I could hear the butcher bird, so I could hear a lot of rain in that one, so I'm guessing it was raining. I could hear a butcher bird. I could hear lorikeets, but your lorikeets sound a bit different to mine. And did I hear a wattle bird in there? I couldn't hear much else. Yes, lorikeets definitely. Naomi, you were standing there. What did you clearly hear? While I grab I forgot to have my coffee. So let's play Naomi's second one. Now, I think this is a different morning, but let's find out. Well, there was no doubt that the sulphur-crested cockatoos were in there. Naomi, I picked out the eastern yellow robin. What else? Anything else? Anyone else picked out? Stan, I think the raucous. I'm pretty sure they were all cockies, not corellas. Let's have a look. You guys are in for a treat when I play mine, and I've put all mine in together, so we'll stop at times and talk about it. But Pacific Baza, fantastic. So there was another bird. Did I hear a grey shrike thrush in there as well? Yes. Stan, I just saw a huge mob of little corellas here this morning. Not right at my place. I went down early down to the supermarket to be there when it opened, and they were all over the joint. All right, so Naomi sent me a third clip. So let's see what's in that one. I must say I haven't played any of these in advance, just so we can all enjoy them. Who said what? I didn't make out the whipbird, but we might do a second run through them after we get. I want to get through it. A lot of road noise at your place, Naomi, a bit like my place. Now, what was that? I would have thought it was a honey eater of some sort doing that raucous call, but it doesn't sound like any of the ones I have here. So, yeah. I'm glad you got excited. I hope we can do this sort of regularly because I find it fun. Yeah, the rev heads were out, no doubt. So, what was that raucous call at the beginning, Naomi? I might just run that again. Now, that wasn't one of the cockatoos going crazy about the buzzer, was it? Because that call, I don't know. I've never heard that, unless it was a wattlebird going absolutely spare. But fill us in on that one. I'm going to tee up Stan, and of course Stan. Even though you sent me video files, I haven't been able to import them the way I want to. So, but we I can share the. Oh no, that's me. Stan Dawn Chorus. Here we go. And we'll be able to hear this too. But we'll just come back here first. So let's come back to comments. Yeah, it did sound like a cockatoo in absolute panic, but I'm not sure. Oh, so they were MP4. Okay, so that explains why I couldn't turn them into videos. Okay. Well, Naomi, there's nothing to stop you recording the fairy wrens on a lovely clear morning. All right, let's get to. This is Stan's Dawn Chorus, and again, I better turn the volume up. I hope it's not too loud for you, but let's check it out. I'll just. Here we are. Oh, Mars Lapwing. Can hear the magpie in the distance. I can hear Stan walking around. Let's play that. Let's play that again. Right. Now that's so different to what I get, Stan. Um, I want to know what that little zeeting noise was in the foreground. Now I hope you could all hear that. Okay. Um, you'll have to tell me. Let me just unshare that. We'll stop that, and we'll get Stan's. Stan sent me dusk as well, so let's get dusk going, and then I'll open up mine. Stan also sent me a Lyrebird, which we'll get to afterwards. Now, Stan, you sent me two. Oh no, it wasn't two, was it? It was just one. Yeah. Um, okay. Let's. So this is dusk. Can hear the Corellas. Oh, I'm sitting there listening and it's not sharing, is it? Sorry about that. Sorry about that, gang. Yeah, I thought a scrub wren, Martin. I think certainly sounded like a scrub wren, but it could have been, it could have been a thornbill too. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't share that properly. This is let's let's do it properly this time. Dusk chorus with Stan. Are we ready? Stan, that was pretty amazing. Cool. So, who wants to tell me what they picked out in Stan's dusk chorus? Stan, have you only got little corellas in that group? Because they sound a lot like the long-billed corellas I have here as well, but quite different. Um, yeah, fairy wren, not the fairy wrens I'm familiar with, but could well have been. What did you notice, Stan? What do you notice at your place? All right, I'll just get my one fired up, ready to go. Um, where are we? Where are we? Where are we? All right, I've whacked it all into one file. So. G'day, bird nerds. I'm guessing you could hear me. Just let me know that you could hear me. Um, I didn't hear a galah in there, but I did hear lots of little corellas. Which fairy wrens have you got at your place, Stan, on Kangaroo Island? That would be good to know. Now, Stormy, I know you've got a rush. I'm going to put this file on the Bird Emergency website so you can check it out. And I hope it's all because I've condensed all of the couple of days into one file, so we can stop and start as we go. So I better get this over where I can control it easily, because we will want to stop and start as we go. There we are, nearly. Give me some more ideas on what you heard in Stan's. See you, Stormy. I hope you saw the latest habitat innovation post on Instagram about the quoll den as well. So, yeah, see you soon. See you soon. Superbies. Superbies. All right, let's Hi. All right, let's have a look at this joker. And let me know if it's loud enough too. That's the other thing we need to check out. So, early Sunday, the 12th of February 2023, and I'm about to record the Dawn Chorus to discuss on the show tomorrow morning. But I can tell you that first seen and heard this morning. First seen, unfortunately, invasive species, common blackbird. First heard, red wattlebird. But there's quite a bit going on, and I'm about to record for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Maybe I'll do a couple of chunks that we can play on the live show tomorrow at midday on Monday at thebirdemergency.com/live. So this was my Twitter. Eastern Daylight Time. That was my Twitter. Why don't you record your Dawn Chorus or join us and just talk about it? See ya. G'day, TikTok Sunday morning here in Wurundjeri country, unceded Wurundjeri country. It's Sunday, the 12th of... Now, let me stop. So it hasn't put them all in the right order, but, you know, that's a... that's a trip all on its own. So here's what I do for TikTok. For February here, 2023. This is first seen and heard, my daily early bird report, where me, Grant, the big bird nerd, comes and just tells you what I heard and saw when it comes to birds this morning. Now, the first heard this morning was the red wattlebird. First seen was invasive species, common blackbird. And what I'm in the middle of doing is recording a bunch of snippets of the sounds that I hear early in the morning. The different birds, the Airbus A380, the cars, those birds. And we're going to play them in tomorrow's live stream, Monday, midday, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, at thebirdemergency.com/live, or the Facebook, the YouTube, the Twitch. But if you'd like to let me know what you hear early in the morning, you can just do like a little video recording or a voice recording, and you can submit it. Go to thebirdemergency.com/live. There's an email and there's some other things you can do there. You should follow me too if you're into birds. You should. You should also check out the podcast. You should. It's called The Bird Emergency. Funny that. Okay, well, I think that's the update for this morning. Hope you enjoy your Sunday. Oh, we just saw something very exciting here. I did, which I will also talk about tomorrow. I just saw a bird on the hunt. See ya. All right, bird nerds, it's early Sunday. Who is that clown? So that's what I do for TikTok. All right, so this is, I think, the first one for Sunday morning, because I hadn't turned the camera around to the right way. Okay. Sunday morning, and I'm going to, it's about 6:20 in the morning. I've already done the walk with Shadow early, I don't know, 5:10 or something, and it was silent. But this is what I hear most mornings. I'll give you a headache. No, I think because we're going to play it on the show, it's better to be this way, isn't it? So, rooster. 2 roosters. Another rooster. Now what I'm going to do this again in about 5 minutes, and we'll see whether there's a different suite of birds. Oh, here we go. All right, so what did you pick out in that first lot, apart from the road noise? I hope you could hear it all right. Tell me that. I guess you would have said if you couldn't. So the lorikeets were the easy get in that. What else did you hear? Yeah, I'm pretty lucky, Stan, but it's sort of the same bunch of birds. But so that was the early suite. Let's do the next one and see if any of you. Let's see what you can pick out. Here we go. Let's do it this way. All right, bird nerds. It's about 6:30 now in the morning, on Sunday morning. Now I did hear a new entry. Let's see what happens for the next few minutes in my dawn chorus. Emirates, one of those big Airbus things. You know what I liked most about the pandemic? The lack of air travel. Because they fly basically over my place. All right, I'm going to do this again in about another 5, maybe 10 minutes, and we'll see if it's any different. Okay, so it's almost 6:40. Let's see if we've got a different roll call now that it's just a little bit later. You probably can't get the surround sound, but there is a different entrant over this shoulder. certainly the rainbow lorikeets are very numerous. The magpies are just behind me, but they haven't started making a noise yet. So we'll give it a go in about another 5 odd minutes, okay? All right, it's just gone 7 a.m. Sunday morning. Let's see what we get. I just saw the pair of galahs that often cruise around. Maybe you heard them. All Maggies. Good guess, Martin, but I've got little ravens, and those doves were the spotted dove. In one of the recordings, I think you'll hear a crested pigeon, but we don't have peaceful doves, unfortunately. Yeah, they're a nice sounding bird. I think most of the action is done. I think morning is kind of over and daytime has started. I find out the magpies are actually cruising around. It's a bit windy. Yeah, let this one run. Good stuff, Stan. Well, I was hoping the magpies would give us a treat, but I've seen them move to the far end of the territory, so I think they're going around marking out their territory. Anyway, that gives us a bit to talk about this in the show, doesn't it? See ya. G'day, bird nerds. Hey, look, this is my dawn chorus for Monday. Now, it's 5:45, so it's just before 5:45. And this is what it sounds like at my place. And all I can hear is the freeway. So we're a little bit early. Let's try again shortly. All right, it's just gone 6 a.m. and now I can hear some birds. Now, I hope you can hear them. My first herd this morning will be the New Holland honeyeater. I can hear them waking up all over the place. And we had a rooster. So that's 6 a.m. Couldn't really make them out. But still, the road noise, the freeway, is the thing I can hear the most. But I hope you can pick out the honeyeaters. They're all around me. They're not coming up on that recording though. Wow, so it's 6 a.m. and I hope you can hear the first birds for this morning. So the first that I heard this morning is the New Holland honeyeater, but I did hear a common miner in there before. I hope you can hear those. The road noise is still the loudest thing. There's a common miner. And there we are, you can probably hear the honeyeaters there. All right, let's give it a go in another 5 minutes. Okay, so it's 6:10 here on Monday morning. My neighbours are just going to work. I'm just starting to see people get up and head off to work. Now I can hear some crickets. Common miners are still going. Honeyeaters are still waking up. Aircraft traffic is starting. There's a lot of common miners in the distance. And the New Holland honeyeaters I can hear all around, especially, There's one right close to me just waking up. The first red wattlebird. Yeah. Now I wonder if that was a white-plumed honeyeater. You probably couldn't hear it. It's very faint. That one. I'll take expert advice on that one. I'll be consulting Zeno Canto. There we are. Riveting video. Alright, we'll try this again in about another 5 minutes. So it's 6:20 daylight time. Now let me just stop that for a minute. So it's interesting the way the microphones on the phones work, that it was attuned to the road noise. I don't know if you could really notice that. So it was rejecting the higher frequencies of the honeyeaters, because those New Holland honeyeaters were all around me everywhere. And that was the thing I could, sitting there in the park, that I could hear the most. It was interesting that the honeyeaters were up and about, but the red wattlebirds hadn't really begun calling. But let's check out what's next. And look, it's a little bit lighter because you can see my face. Which means it's 5:20 in real time. And there's a bit more going on. So I'm calling those New Holland honeyeaters. That's the red wattlebird. Common miners. More people getting up and going to work. But it's still quite quiet. I would have expected at this light a lot more bird action. And it's evident to me, the common miners hang around near the main roads. I don't usually see them here near the park, but I can hear them. They're everywhere. Like that. No blackbirds yet. So in springtime, late winter and autumn, it would be all blackbirds. I'd hear them everywhere. But still, the most prominent noise is the road noise. All right, we'll do this again in about another 5 minutes too. Oh, there we go. Red wattlebird's waking up. It's the first bird I've seen, and it was a red wattlebird. So there we go. First seen this morning, red wattlebird. First heard, New Holland honeyeater. Yeah, let's try it again in about another 5 minutes. So it's just ticked over 6:30 a.m. daylight time, which is 5:30 a.m. in real time. And I'm pretty sure that's the white-plumed honeyeaters waking up. There's the yellow-winged New Holland honeyeater. Red wattlebirds are up and about. So the lorikeets have just started to arrive. They're the first ones I've seen and heard this morning. Now the blackbirds have been out foraging along the nature strip at the edge of the park. There's actually one just over there now. But they're non-vocal. Yeah, there's still quite a lot of blackbirds around. Roosters. Now all the lorikeets are starting to come in for a feed. Actually, they're just darting over. They're just going past. Here they come. I don't know where they roost around here. Here they come. Oh, they're feeding here next to me. All right, now I've got to do all the normal first seen and heard things. So we'll get onto that. Then I've got to put all these together to talk to you today. So it's Monday morning, 7:05. And the little ravens are calling. They're active. The lorikeets are everywhere. Rooster's still going. Honeyeaters behind me. New Holland honeyeater. Now I can see blackbirds, but they're not saying a word. And the pigeons and the doves haven't started up either. I just heard a spotted dove. Not much magpie action either. I have heard some before, but I wasn't recording. But there's a lot of lorikeets, aren't there? Here comes some little ravens. Calling in flight. Well, this is going to wrap it up. I look forward to discussing stuff with you in the live stream. I guess I'm talking to you, right, squad? All right, see ya. So it's Monday morning, 7:05. And the little ravens are calling. They're active. The lorikeets are everywhere. Rooster's still going. Honeyeater's behind me. New Holland honeyeater. Now I can see blackbirds, but they're not saying a word. And the pigeons and the doves haven't started up either. I just heard a spotted dove. Not much magpie action either. I have heard some before, but I wasn't recording. I look forward to discussing stuff with you in the live stream. I guess I'm talking to you, right, squad? Yes, but wait for it, Naomi. It put them in out of order when I stitched them all together. All right, see ya. So it's Monday morning, 7:05. Hang on. And the little ravens... That's the same bit. Where's the good bit? There's a lot of lorikeets, aren't there? Here comes some little ravens. Calling in flight. No, we've already seen this bit. There's some action that happened. No, don't tell me. I'm going to have to find the bit that had the action. Let me go to this and... Oh, let me stop sharing that to start with. So, yeah, we were replaying. I don't know what happened there, Naomi. It shouldn't have done that. Let me try and find the... might be this one. No, this is the nuisance. Let me try this again. Present that file. Open file. It's not going to play it, is it? Let's try this again. No. Jeez. Annoying. Annoying. Okay, well, I'm going to come back. I'll have to find a way to get that in. It's not playing, and I don't know why. Because it was exciting. While I was talking, a sparrowhawk went into the top of one of the big sugar gums after a lorikeet, didn't have any luck, and then just flew away. And I described it. I was like a sports caller. Well, that was disappointing. I was really looking forward to showing you that, but in the transferring of the files or something, it's copied. It's actually copied two of me doing the same thing, but not showing the action. Oh well. I'll try and drag that out and get it onto the website. It's very annoying. My computer is so ancient. Oh, that gives me an opportunity to say thank you to Barbara. And if you're here, Barb, very appreciated. Barb, I've started. I haven't sort of launched it yet, but I'm setting up memberships on Buy Me a Coffee and also on Patreon. I'm still working out what to sort of offer. Excuse me. See, all that getting up early and doing dawn choruses has made me tired. Now at Riot Squad. Actually, I did want to do this just for fun. There we go. That was a treat, wasn't it? Um, Now, was there a... the blue wing kookaburra is pretty cool, isn't it? Um, I like them both. Um, so what do I want to go back to? What did you pick out in my dawn chorus? I didn't mention all of them. I did mention most of them. Where are we? Martin, you were wondering about the 3-note call. I'm wondering which one that might have been. I'm pretty sure you know the common minor, so I'm wondering whether it was just a different tone of the lorikeets. I can't think of which one would be 3-note call. Unless you were hearing maybe one of the early morning wake up calls of the New Holland honeyeater. They have a number of different calls, and they have their beak clacking as well. I don't really hear that much. I really only hear that at the start of the breeding season. What I thought was interesting doing my little recordings at different times was how there's very definitely early risers and some are a bit later. The red wattlebirds are much later rising than the smaller honeyeaters. The lorikeets come in from somewhere else, so I don't really know. I don't really know how early they get up. Yeah. So, what did we learn anything, Stan? I learned that you have a lot of Corellas at your place. I'm guessing from what I've heard. Well, I have no blue wrens and virtually no thornbills here. No. Occasionally have pardalotes come through, but I used to hear them a lot when I first moved here, but they seem to have basically gone. A few years ago, I did see down at the shopping centre, I did see a mistletoe bird. That was pretty exciting, but that's not a normal thing here. But I don't get much variety, but I do. I mean, what lives here lives in quite good numbers. But my dawn chorus, the number of different species is quite good, isn't it? Now, wouldn't it be good if we did this a bit more regularly and that we all worked out a nice way to record a bit more clearly? Well, everyone's different phones and whatnot all do it differently. They hone in on different on different frequencies. Obviously, my phone loves the road noise, loves the air, loves the Airbus too. It loves to hone in on their engines. Now, Martin, where are you? Let me know where you are. I'm blanking out on where everyone is. I know Naomi's at the foot of the Blue Mountains, and I know Stan's on Kangaroo Island. Who else have we got? Martin. I can't remember where you are, Martin. Stormy's at Toongabbie. And Stormy's gone, but Stormy Toongabbie. So up the river in. Just seeing who else is in the chat. No, that's got everyone. So we should do this once in a while and check out the seasonal differences. Martin, Gladstone. Now, Martin, I love Gladstone. I love the Botanic Gardens at Gladstone. Martin, you know where you turn off the highway to go into Gladstone, and there's that there's a bridge. The highway is on a bridge, and there's like a road stop park down below. Tell me if you know the place I'm talking about, and then I'll tell you my story if you do. Yeah. Well, Stan, half the fun is just getting familiar with them and then finding out which one is which. Actually, I might do a little exercise on that now. Yeah, well, Naomi, we're going to take a couple of votes today in the Right Squad. One, okay, so Martin, that place has a name, does it? So you know where I'm talking about? That big, it's sort of you turn off the road and you have to go down, and there's this big, like basically it's a picnic area, and there's the road, the highway is elevated up above. Do you know the place? Just let me know, Martin, if you know the place I'm talking about. And if you're heading north, Gladstone is down to the right. You turn off to go down into Gladstone. Let me know if you know the place, and then I'll tell the story, which is a little bit related to what Naomi was talking about earlier on, funnily enough. So yeah, Martin, just let me know. And then what I want to know from you guys, if I do a membership, and I have created one at $5, and I want to do one at a higher one, for like a membership perk, would you guys prefer to have like a members only stream where we do more? Great. Okay, Martin. Well, you know the spot. Now, I had a very exciting experience there. I saw a pair of Pacific vases sitting side by side in one of those. I reckon they were. I can't remember. So I remember there was a whole lot of. I think it's Eucalyptus torreliana, like the main eucalypt up there, the one with the tessellated black bark at the base. But I'm going back. It's a long time ago. But I think there were a couple of. They're either Pittosporums or Ficus in that park, and there were just a pair of Pacific vases sitting there side by side, and that was the first time I'd ever seen Pacific Vasa. I'd driven my 1980 Series 3 Land Rover all the way up there from Melbourne, and yeah, that was the best lunch stop I ever did, and I really like that part of Queensland. Tannum Sands, even though I'm hearing that it's pretty buggered up now, all down around there. But the Botanic Gardens at Gladstone are a ripper. God, you can spend days there if you're a plant nerd. Almost as much fun as the Botanic Gardens at Townsville and Cairns. It's really cool. Yeah. Okay. So I got sidetracked. So for a perk to make it sort of worthwhile for you guys, would you prefer a live stream, like maybe a weekly or monthly live stream? Yeah, the Rocky ones are really cool too. Rocky's just a great town, basically. I reckon. Yeah. Central Queensland's pretty great. Because Martin, you might relate to this. You might not have heard this before either. I have seen a grey falcon, and where I saw the grey falcon was at a gate to a property where I had an appointment, where I was opening the gate and there was a dead tree, and right there, grey falcon sitting there watching me going about my business. Yeah, so that was at Jambin. So yeah, Central Queensland. Central Queensland gave me the Pacific Barza and the grey falcon. So, folks, you have to tell me, would would a would a members only live stream where we can maybe fool around a bit more and I can do maybe reveal a few more personal stories or something, and maybe learn more of yours, bring more of you in, where we can all maybe share more with each other rather than just the wider population, and maybe get more sort of special guests in for members only stuff. So let me know. I mean, would you value more members only things like live streams and members only versions of either the podcast or the videos, or stuff like this, maybe mugs or something like that. So tell me what you would value. Yeah, Stan, I reckon that's a top idea, isn't it? We'll do a dawn chorus every month, but that means people have to record their dawn chorus every month. So I could work through which days we're going to do. Oh, so we could make it every, the first and the third Wednesday of each month, or something like that. Naomi, that would have been cool. A raptor, brown goshawk on a farm gate that had Hell's Gate written on it. Imagine if you got a photo. That would be cool. Yeah, I think the Dawn Chorus has got a real chance of sort of catching on. And what I like about it is it shares the whole idea of the first seen and heard. And I think I've explained to you before why I persevere with it. And it takes 40 minutes or something each morning to do it on all the platforms. Is I just want people to actually look and listen at what's around. And even if every month you only learn one more bird call, or you can only recognise one more bird, well then we've all you've learned something cool, I reckon. And as I mentioned before, Ricky and I are just working out which regular time Ricky and maybe someone else will be involved in that too, that will do regular stuff. And Ricky's really interested in the evolutionary pathways of birds, as well as her bird watching and really getting to know her local birds. So we'll talk a lot more about bird watching and skills for IDs, things like that. So Corellas work to a timetable, do they, at your place, Stan? Give us more information on what happens after Anzac Day, why they nick off. Yeah, Martin, we should maybe talk a little bit about this. I'm wondering how to do that. I do have a little plug-in mic, but it's not much better than the built-in microphones. But I think I might get myself. I got rid of my handheld recorder during the pandemic just to pay the bills, but I think I'll reinvest in one and get the directional mic that that I can use as an option for that and maybe take it a bit more seriously. I guess all that depends on how it takes off. If we did it, what do we reckon? Monthly, so we could do. If we keep it separate to the Mondays, weekday or weekend, folks. You tell me. You tell me. Well, there we are, a boya. Yeah, I didn't do any of the editing, which I would have liked to. It's just getting the formats in and which ones I can bring into the. It's easier to play direct in StreamYard, and I can only bring in short video clips that way. Audios I have to play through just by sharing a screen on the laptop. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if any sounded better than any of the others. They all sounded good in my headphones. Like it picked up the rain really well on yours, Naomi. I did get some other people. Yeah, camera's a whole different thing, Martin. Yeah, and Photography Friday, we're going to explore a lot more of that coming up. I did have Photography Friday booked in for this Friday, but I haven't had a confirmation on the guest. I always confirm in the week to make sure that I'm not going to be sitting in an empty, an empty screen. I haven't got that back yet, so maybe that won't be up this week. So, folks, tell me about this whole membership idea, because somebody has been super generous on Buy Me a Coffee this week, which makes me think that maybe it will be a good thing to do. That would, then I could buy a field recorder again and get out there. Stan, tell me, but on this with the little Corellas, are there trees that are fruiting or grasses that are seeding at this time where they're all around? Like, are they following a food source? They certainly come here in greater numbers when the grasses are seeding and around the park. Thanks, Naomi. Now, apart from being willing to pay, what would be a good perk? A members-only stream, or some kind of merch, or people have said to me stickers and stuff like that. I don't know. I just want to do stuff that's useful for people who are going to fork over. Merch is a whole different thing, because you can sell merch just on its own, and people will just pick out what they want. And I'm certainly doing merch. I must say that the generous contribution in Buy Me a Coffee this week certainly means that I'll be accelerating some of the merch this week. That's just blown me away this week. So you can go to thebirdemergency.com/coffee, and you can actually buy a $5 membership right now. There, $5 a month membership. I haven't finished doing the tiers. I'm also going to do the same on Patreon. Cool. Yeah, I think that's the go, Naomi. I think a stream, and rather than messing around with a podcast, I mean, we could obviously turn that into a members only podcast as well. But yeah, I think the streams are more fun because we can talk about it, and I can whack them on YouTube. So is that what we've got? What do you reckon, Stan? I'd really like to. I'd really like to be bringing more people in from around the world as well. Um, Stan, onion weed bulbs. Tell me, yeah, I reckon that's. I reckon that might be what it is, or the roots. They get into the kikuyu roots and the couch grass roots in the park here. Almonds, yeah, definitely the almonds. What the other morning when I was up early, and I didn't make a comment about it on any of those recordings, but I saw a lot of fruit bats, and a lot more than I normally do when I'm out early. Usually I see 4 or 5 going home, flying back to the Botanic Gardens or to poop all over people in Ivanhoe and Kew, excuse me, up on along the Yarra. But all the fruit trees are the fruit trees now are just about to ripen up, and I'm sure that's what the fruit bats are doing, or the grey-headed flying fox. And what did you say here, Fred? So, Stan, are you a member on YouTube? I'm still a long way away from being able to do membership on YouTube. I'm only halfway there, I think. I'm still 220 odd subscribers short of doing membership on YouTube. So, but with Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee, I think I'm interested in. Now, what have we got, Mum? Yeah, one of the great failings of planning. I think there's so many birds around me because I live in one of those areas that, when it was developed, and the neighbouring suburbs, all the street trees now are mature eucalypts. Not all of them, but most of them mature eucalypts, and in the little parks, they've all been heavily planted with eucalypts and casuarinas and. There's not much shrubbery, but there is lots of mature trees. So the honeyeaters like it, the lorikeets like it, the cockatoos use it. It's not conducive to all of the introduced birds, but they're all at ground level. But the planting is important. Indian miners, yeah. Yeah, the old Indian miner. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Now, what have you said, Stan? Actually, Stan, something that I learned. I used to work in. I think I've mentioned to you that irrigation, and we also laid sports turf and things like that. If you could get the cockatoos or the corellas to come into a onion weed infested oval and just let them go, that would be a lot more effective than spraying out for onion weed. So, Martin, I think the question is, did you go to the Bot Gardens in Sydney? yeah. Patreon's good, Stan, in that you can have different levels and whatnot. I'd really love to do a membership through YouTube, because you can use the merch shelf on YouTube, which is a bit preferable to some of the other things, and they've actually got some really good sort of ethical clothing design or ethical clothing options, which are hard to find if you're doing merch. Very hard to find. Sometimes you have to make a little bit of a trade-off, which I'm not too keen on. Another option is, I'm thinking of doing a coffee. I found a Canadian YouTuber who has found really good ethical coffee. So I would like to have a crack at that. The Riot blend, a nice Riot blend so I could ditch my Robert Timms. I used to live near Robert Timms when I was a kid. He had a house down at the down the bottom of a hill right near me. It was the next street along from the road I lived on, and he had a almost British racing green, but it was more olive than British racing green, Rolls Royce with the number plate RT1. So I haven't really looked into where he gets his coffee from these days. Yes, Naomi, I have a $5 membership at the moment available on Buy Me a Coffee, but I haven't put any perks in for that. I think if I was going to do extra shows, I just created it to see what happened when what I had to add in terms of graphics and everything, and it didn't really do anything like that. I'm also creating a wish list, just in case someone, for instance, I don't know. I don't think they're here because I've called out twice. But if someone wanted to do a fairly big contribution, like someone did yesterday, I guess that I can actually put it specifically to something like the new computer that I must get. I must get a new computer to be able to do things quicker. I mean, it just takes forever to do, to produce a podcast, or it just takes forever to do the sound or video processing. So we'll get onto that. Now that I've got my camera, I only need to buy a couple of extra little things to start using that as the, having a lot more video content that I shoot myself when I'm out and about. So that's going to be happening soon. That contribution this week meant that I can buy a card that I don't have to wait another few weeks. Peter, that's a really interesting thing about the Currawongs. Peter, you need to follow Stan at Kangaroo Island TV and ask him directly how he trained his dog. What I can tell you, Peter, no need to apologise. Peter, good on you for popping in while you're at a cafe. Have you got some big headphones? People always ask me. I've got these Bluetooth headphones, right, which I actually found in a Cash Converters, and they're the same brand, same maker as these, but they retailed for about $700, and I picked them up for about $150, I think. And I have these Bluetooth on wherever I go, pretty much, listening to things. Makes a big difference having good headphones on. You can hear stuff. Peter, to bring you up to speed, we have decided that we're going to do Dawn Chorus regularly. We're going to do Dawn Chorus monthly so that we get a feel for what goes on during the year. But what I need all of you to do is to encourage people you know who are sort of a bit into birds or a bit into nature to get involved. I did ask you all, would you prefer a weekday or a weekend for the Dawn Chorus? Let me know that, and then I can work out in the calendar and actually set them up we'll set the dates up for the year. And then you know that when you have to plan to go out and record. So let me know that. The first question. And soon, see, when I get to 500 subscribers on YouTube, I think I can actually run question and answers on YouTube, which will actually come into here. There's so many things I want to do. Also, what I want to know from you. So first thing, weekend or weekday? Tell me that for Dawn Chorus. So Naomi, well, you're pretty much always available during the week, aren't you, Naomi? So let's see what other contributions we get. I'll just wait for you to sort of come in on that. And this will be fun. If Holly's back on Monday too, by the way, and I'll be emailing Holly shortly to just confirm what we're discussing on Monday. I think she hasn't said yes to this, but I was Great Martin. Okay, so I think. Okay, so how long did it take, Stan, for you to get the dog attuned to the distress call of the honey eater? That would be good to know. So what I wanted to because I always talk about Naomi, that question will be being posed to Holly. I don't want to say to Holly, I really want you to do a Dawn Chorus. I just wonder whether Holly can fit it into her time. You know, I've got the benefit that I don't have any young people or significant other that I have to work around in the week during the morning. So I do recognise that at a busy time, sometimes it's not quite so easy, so we'll just see. Cool. Okay, so not a Thursday or a Friday. Cool. Yeah. The weekend stuff that I'm thinking of doing, Stan, just so and that you all know, is I want to do more conversations with people, and I'm going to invite a lot of people that have been on the show before, and sort of talking more about their career development, the things that they are finding just generally in life, and sharing a yard list, really, or any list that they like. For instance, maybe they've been on a trip to somewhere. So Steph Burrell will be back soon. I'm hoping that Claire, I've asked Claire to come back, Claire Greenwell. I'll just go through. I did see some good posts from Rob Davies Davis lately. I mean, there's just so many great people to talk to, and I'm making a big effort to get people in from around the world, and it's so hard because people are catching up at the moment with all the years that they couldn't go out in the field. So I think people are sitting on budgets that they were allocated but they couldn't spend. So there's a lot of people out and about doing things, which is great. Yeah. So I think we're okay. So I think we've worked out that we're going to do a weekday. Monthly, is monthly too much? It was monthly about right. I think monthly is probably about right. Um, I like the idea of a Wednesday because Monday is Holly. Um, yeah, let's. Oh, also, did any of you check my TikTok that I did yesterday? Just interested if anyone's on TikTok, and because I got more comments on yesterday's TikTok than any others that I did, and I made a disparaging remark about Valentine's Day, and they came for me. Oh, one guy came for me, but then he thought better of it, and he says, "Oh, you're probably a nice guy. I'm sorry if you're actually a nice guy." You know, but anyway, it's amazing. I did learn this morning that, contrary to the popular story about the origins of Valentine's Day, that the first Valentine's card was actually produced and sent in from Worcester, Massachusetts, in 1838. So there we go. That's how ancient a tradition it is. Uh, well, there we go. Oh, hate some neighbours. Cat bell. Well, let's talk about cats for a minute. On my walk, which I do, which is, I guess it's the equivalent of about 3 blocks, um, maybe a bit more, um, that I walk around. Every morning I see 4 cats that have obviously spent the night outside. Um, just makes me furious, you know. Um, Sometimes I wish I had a paintball gun. You just cover them in red paint or something so that it became extremely upsetting for the owner, and that they would have to actually spend some time grooming and washing the cat, and maybe they would think about why it happened. Um, yeah, I don't know. Don't like the idea of doing it. It just makes me so furious that the cats are out. Um, 2 events happen. Like, we've just had the Victoria um, Biodiversity Conference, was on last week, and on Tuesday was the West Australian Feral Cat Working Group Symposium. So uh, I'm hoping we will get Judy to tell us what happened there. Um, yeah, Stan, the shorts on YouTube, my least popular outlet for the short stuff, I must say. But some of them do really well, and some of them don't get any views. Um, I think because most of the oh, come on, there we go. Um, I'm back. I disappeared for a minute, I think. Yeah, so YouTube's a weird one at the moment because I'm not big enough for anyone to take any notice of me, but it's catching on Instagram and Twitter for the first seen and heard. Um, what's going on here? I'm back. I'm back. I hope you can see and hear me now. Um, oh, you can't like me. Where are we? Back. So you can't like me on YouTube. That's really, really odd. Um, yeah. Naomi, don't feel bad. You can still support on Facebook pretty much every. I do different first seen and heards for the different platforms, but the things that go out, these streams and everything that I do go to YouTube and Facebook, and if I'm going to do members only ones, where you would be able to watch them, if not on YouTube, eh, they would be they'd be unlisted. Um, I'll have to work out how I would do this, but I would set up a members only page on the birdemergency.com where they get streamed to. Yeah, so we'll work all that out. I mean, I don't really care if people who aren't members get to see them once in a while. I don't really care about that. I yeah. I think Stan. Let's talk about this for a minute. The shorts and whatnot. My aim with YouTube is that I can eventually get to the 1,000 members and get the 4,000 hours of watch time and be monetized, and then I would do more content just for YouTube, because it's a really good platform to get found. And while I really like that we're talking to people who are already bird nerds, that's heaps of fun. The main game for me is to get more people interested in making a fuss about preserving what we've already got, and not these bloody dreams of reanimating stuff. Oh, actually, I invited someone who's been plugging their reanimation company. The bloke who was promoting bringing back the dodo. I don't know if any of you saw that on Twitter, and I just asked him, which zoo will they live in? Didn't get a reply from him, but I did ask him if he'd like to be on the show and talk to me about the whole issue. And of course, no response, no indication that he'd even received my request. So yeah, it's annoying. But yeah, I like doing the little shorts and things. It's fun. I should. Yeah. So I think I've said a million times before, the best way to get the things noticed is if people share them. People watch them and share them. The thumbs up is one thing in terms of engagement that signals to the algorithm that it should be shared out. But if people share it, that really helps. Naomi, I did, and I'm still locking in dates. I've got a few people who are going to talk to me about greenwashing, carbon credits, people who really know what they're talking about. Of course, I did put the Twitter out yesterday, of course. The company that ran this green credit scheme was a timber harvesting company. Imagine a timber harvesting company doing timber harvesting. Imagine that. The whole lot of it's bullshit. We just need to... and also, here's what gets me angry. Why are companies in Australia buying credits around the world instead of doing things in Australia, mitigating the damage they do in Australia? stopping the damage they do in Australia, ameliorating the damage they do in Australia. I mean, I think you all pretty much know. I think this whole thing is bullshit. There's a place for carbon credits, but not basing our whole strategy on locking up other people, locking up other parts of the world and telling other people around the world what they can and can't do with their natural assets. I mean, that's colonialism and it's racist bullshit, and we just need to accept that we all need to stop stuffing up our own backyard. And I'm going to put a few controversial points out there. Let's see what you think about this. I think if you're one of the people who is against your next door neighbours turning their backyard into granny flats or new development, well, I reckon you're part of the problem. I reckon if you're one of the people who objects because someone's going to ruin your view, you're part of the problem, even if you don't recognise it. If you don't want us to cut down all the bushland and clear all the bushland on the edge of cities, then cities have to change. They have to become places where more, and less, like I posed the question with Martin Ty in the degrowth conversation. All right, Martin's of the view that we have enough humans on the earth. So who stops breeding? That's the corollary of the conversation. If we're not prepared to have the conversation, then we have to do something else. If we're over carrying capacity of the planet now, we need to tell people who cannot breed. There's no other logical, or we need to say, who will we kill? There's no other way to do it, is there? I'm not into eugenics, Naomi, at all. It's just that there are people out there talking. Here we go. Degrowth and depopulate. Okay, so if we're not going to leave it to a pandemic or to global global catastrophe, wars or whatever, if we accept that the people are already here, and in virtually every country where we have a society based around a nuclear family, and where catchphrases like in the US, where we're family friendly and we're family focused. Okay, what's a family? It's people with offspring. So, I don't know. Who gets to have offspring? And if you've got a society that's based on economic activity, economic growth to provide services, like China's just finding, now they want everyone to have kids again, because they've realised they can't keep their standard of living without more young people in the long term. We've got some serious questions to ask, and no one's asking them. And I don't know the answers, but I can tell you, I don't have any kids at the moment, and I get asked all the time, don't you want kids? And my answer is, there's more than enough. More than enough kids are out there. Naomi, you and I made the same decision. It's one thing to talk about the problem. I want us to talk about the next part, which is the solution. And while I don't disagree with virtually anything Martin said, the question is, if there's too many people, or if we don't want more people, then we have to stop population growth. So that question is, who can't have kids? If what do we got? We're coming up to 8 billion on the planet. If we want to get it back, like Martin's talking about something like 2 billion or even less, is the carrying capacity of the world. Well, then there's an awful lot of stuff got to happen, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a really interesting thing, Martin. I'm hoping to explore degrowth and economic systems and a lot more. Naomi, just do what suits you, not what suits anyone else. I mean, after all, you'll have to pay all the way along. Oh, here we go. Have we got a whole? Yeah, go with Elon. Go with Elon. Stan, are you in the same club as me and Naomi, the kid-free zone? I don't know why I assumed Stan was bringing up kids on Kangaroo Island. I think there's more and more of us making this decision. The problem is that in most countries, in most countries, people do not have the freedom to make the decision. They either don't have access to contraception, or the way to maintain your worth in a society, in a structure of many societies, is to have kids. Oh shit! Hang on, I'm burning my soup. Hold on, I'll be back. Oh no. Well, that was exciting. A couple of times a week, I cook a really big pot of vegetable soup, and that's pretty much what I have for breakfast. And I think I shared, didn't I, that I'd been losing weight, and I had my doctor's appointment the other day, and I'd actually put half a kilo on. I'd been eating too much tofu and not enough vegetable soup. So we're back to vegetable soup. Let's get that out of the way. And I just had it. Naomi, it's just a little bit burned on the bottom, but it's fine. And now after we finish this up, I divide it up into all the different containers and put a week's worth in the fridge, and then a week's worth in the freezer. And I have to go out and buy some more soup mix and some beans and whatnot to make my next one. But yes, I did salvage it. I just could smell a little bit of burnies, and nobody likes burned soup. Now, question. I'm going back to get some ideas. Riot Squad coffee. What do we think of the idea of? It won't be very soon, but I would like to do. I mean, I buy a lot of coffee, so I would like to buy very friendly coffee, and maybe have a. Yeah, if I could find it. I did do a lot of research into what was sort of ethical coffee, not only for the people that produce it and for the way it's sold and the way it's grown. That's as important as anything else. Which varieties have the smaller footprint? Bird brain blend. 43. We'd have to come up with a number that, not the Nescafe number, but what about a doom number? Yeah, bird brain blend infinity or something. I like that idea, Naomi. That's going in. I'm starring that comment. That's going into bin 666 or VAT 666 or something. Yeah, probably get banned in half of the world. But I mean, it's because the whole point is, everyone. I desperately need a new cap, so I think I will be doing a new cap. This is my Philippines cap that I bought at the site of Rizal's cell, where he was imprisoned for years as a revolutionary. But it's worn out. It's now worn out at the back, and I get sunburned on that. Tea. Tea's a lot harder to do something to get blended and sell in a way that, I mean, it's much more difficult to do. But maybe a herbal blend that could be sold in big bags. That could be a plan, and I could probably find some that were northern New South Wales or Queensland kind of blends. I'll look into that, Stan. I'm going to star that comment as well, and make a note of that. Now, the other, when we're talking about merch, I know we talked about T-shirts and whatnot the other day and having a members one and a non-members one, and Mon didn't want a members, like a Riot Squad member one or something like that. Now, let's go back to this idea, because I really like the idea of having, an image of laughing kookaburras and blue wing kookaburras with the head back doing the chuckle, having that kind of image. So we have the Riot Squad. But if we have one that is a Riot Squad members one, you'd have to be a member to purchase it. So what are your thoughts on that? Naomi's got a good call here. Lemon verbena. Yes, lemon verbena is fabulous. The orange bellied blend. Hey, that's not bad, is it? Although the orange belly, the OBP doesn't really need any more assistance in terms of getting noticed, does it? I mean, maybe the Aryan grass wren, the Carpentaria grass wren blend, or the I don't know what, the chestnut back quail thrush. I don't know, but maybe it needs to be more generic, like vultures, the culture vulture blend. Vultures are in massive trouble around the world. I've also reached out to HookPod to get an update from HookPod about how they're going with their albatross-friendly fishing line setting device. Yeah. All right. So coffee a maybe. Lemon verbena with lemongrass and finger lime blend. Okay, I would look into that. If any of you know, like a local producer of herbal teas that does brand, will package and brand for other people, that would be good to know. What else do we need to talk about? I think I've kind of got to the limit. So we're doing monthly dawn chorus. You can go to thebirdemergency.com/coffee if you would like to actually become a member at the lowest tier before we even determine what our perks are. All right, tell me this, folks. At the lowest tier is a monthly members only stream enough value? I mean, considering the value is to support basically continuing doing what I'm doing anyway. So is one member's live stream a month fair enough at the introductory tier level, and then I can add things on. Like I was thinking, if someone was to do, well, I was thinking of doing like if someone paid for an annual membership at that tier. Martin, I can't go there, can I? Yeah, one a month. Okay, well, I think that's what we will settle on as, which means I then need to get serious about doing my newsletter. Actually, people have been subscribing and I haven't even produced one. How good is that? And look, I'm still waiting for maybe the bird nerd trivia could be another. I mean, if people were subscribing and I could use some of that money to subscribe to a really good trivia platform, since the one that I was using has closed down for the time being. That could be good. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go for one a month. Stan, what do you think about that? And Martin, are you still here, Peter? Peter's still here. Yeah, one a month is that's pretty good at that introductory level, isn't it? So I think Peter's gone off to do what's what. Okay, so Stan's happy with that. Martin, you've got me interested. I'm just wondering how I could do that. Maybe it could be BBBC. Yeah, I don't know. I do like that idea. Then which bowerbird would we put? Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So I will set up a date and time for a March members only stream. So hopefully there'll be more than 2 people in it. that could be fun. So, and the way that will be distributed will be through whichever membership platform that you go on. Now, so I'll set up a membership tier on Patreon today as well. Good on you, Naomi. Satin bowerbirds. Okay. One a month. Cool. Okay. Satin bowerbirds. Okay, so it looks like I'm chasing down a coffee blend. So that means I need to get some artwork happening apart from the Riot Squad and the generic Bird Emergency t-shirt. For the Bird Emergency t-shirt, is the dodo what we will settle on, or do we go for a different bird? Just let me know that too. Before you run, Naomi, dodo or other for Bird Emergency. Um, oh, what's Naya? Deb's just sent me a tweet too. Let me look at what Deb's just said. Oh, I was going to talk about my I was going to tell you what my Valentine's bird was, wasn't I? The bird I love above all else, eastern yellow robin. Okay, I'm trapped. I'm trapped into my branding. All right, so Dodo. All right. Valentine's bird for me, yellow robin, is their eastern yellow robin. The reason being that they were just ubiquitous for me in my childhood, and they seemed to be a nice bird. But it was a toss up with the Burke's parrot or sunset parrot. I think that's what we're calling it now, aren't we? Is that what I think that's what we're calling it now? So before we wrap up, everyone tell me what's your no, it's still the Burke's parrot in the Australian Bird Guide. So do you have a bird that you... Now, this isn't like the best bird. That's a whole different thing. But what's the bird... I know somebody did tell me on Twitter that the English robin, and they were in England, was certainly their Valentine bird, the bird that they love, because of the interaction they have with them in the garden. I have a similar thing with the eastern yellow robin. I mean, it was always in the garden, but also when I was a kid camping, up around Buxton and up the Acheron River, the eastern yellow robin would always come and just watch what you're doing. And they're cool, they're cute looking, they're great. So that's bringing Deb into the conversation, because she posted a great yellow robin in her first seen and heard on Twitter. Valentine's bird. Anyone else got one? Enjoy, Naomi, to your appointment, wherever, whatever. And we're going to wrap up now. Just waiting for your Valentine's birds, if you want to tell me. Actually, let's open that up. Who does the whole Valentine's thing? Who does that these days? I made a point on one of the things this morning, I think on the TikTok this morning, that I just saw all these kids lining up to buy one single red rose at about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. I just thought, performance art. Sorry. Yeah. New Holland, yeah, they're a bird full of character, aren't they, the New Holland honeyeater? Pugnacious little buggers, though. Yeah, jeez. Yeah. I'm not against... Look, I wouldn't mind having kids. I'm just not... I just don't feel the need to have any, If I ever had one, it might be a happy accident, but I don't feel any pressure to have one. But it's a question I always get asked. Why don't you have kids? Well, she's saying, why do you have two ugly ones? Well, why are your kids so obnoxious? I don't know. Anyway. All right. Anyone else want to venture forth with their Valentine bird, the bird they love above all others? If there was only one bird species that could be left in the world, what would you choose? God, what a horrible world that would be to live in, fair income. That would be a horrible world. All right, I have to remember. Can I export this? No, I can't. All right, well, I think we've got to about the logical endpoint. I will try and convert that video of the sparrow. I can't believe the sparrowhawk wasn't in that thing. I'll try and put that into a format that I can put on the website. And when I do the members only thing, depending on whether you're a member on Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon, or if I introduce another one, all the members stuff will also go on the website, and I will create everyone who is a member on the other platforms. I'll make them a member on the Bird Emergency site, and you'll be able to join on the Bird Emergency site if you don't want to do any of the others. And actually, on the Bird Emergency site, I'd be able to keep all the money, wouldn't I? Wouldn't have to give 30% to YouTube or some to anyone else. So that would be good. Regent bowerbird, lovely bird. Do you have many of them around your place, Martin? And which fairy wren have you got at Gladstone that you see mostly? I'm guessing you've got the red-backed. Are you also getting superb, or you getting the variegated at Gladstone? I must say I didn't really notice any fairy wrens when I was driving up there through Gladstone. Would be interested to know that. Yeah, so I'm just going to see if anyone's rushed over to join on Buy Me a Coffee. Okay, what I've said for, let me go back to memberships and levels on. So I've only put in $5. So I put you'll get early access to podcasts before they're released into the regular podcast feed. Also, a members only live stream each month. So I've worked that out. So I'll be able to put now. Okay. So I've already decided that. Okay. So, so that's already done. Okay. So that's great. All right, and I can do a fantastic. So, all right, how good's that? All right, sorry, I was just going through because I hadn't looked up all the details. Okay, so you've got the superb blue wren, superb fairy wren, Martin, up at Gladstone. So, my first member on Buy Me a Coffee has purchased an annual membership. So that was cool. Very, very, very cool. So I'm very happy with that. So, yeah, that's great. So I'm happy with that. One member and it's annual. So I better set up all those live streams for the next year, or at least for the next 3 months, and then we'll assess whether they stay on the same day. Oh, and at the same time. That will be fabulous. That will be very, very, very good. All right, Martin. Nice to see you in the Riot Squad. So, Peter, Naomi, Stan. Did I get everyone who contributed today? I think that is everyone who contributed today. Oh no, Stormy. Thanks, H2 Rider, who has had to check out already. So that's great. Don't forget, always open to suggestions about who you would like me to speak to, or issues or anything you would like me to chase up. Let me know. I'm also trying to get the magpie experts on. Yeah, must follow up. Oh, I think that's telling me something, isn't it? I think that's telling me to go and ladle out my soup, and then head on down to the supermarket again. Thanks, everyone. Always love it when we get together. Don't forget, Holly is back Monday, midday next week. And hopefully I've got... okay, Martin, sorry. So, yeah, red-backed and variegated. Fantastic. No superbs that far north. Okay. And the Regent Bowerbird. Do you have Saturns as well? Would be a question, Martin, I would ask you. Stan, thank you. Stan, I hope you notice I'm popping into your channel a bit more. I'm liking when I get those popping into my suggested feed now, which is good. Please do share stuff on the platform that you use, and let's see if we can grow the Riot Squad. The Riot Squad had quite a few in at one time before everyone popped out this morning, so that's good. Growing bit by bit, and hopefully I've got a bit more... excuse me, to talk about next week with Holly. All right. Ciao. Thanks for being with us.